Hi there. Welcome to The Green Show. I am your host, Ashok Khosla. Has our economy finally entered the era of the green enterprise? Much damage to our environment and its resources has already been done, but it may still be possible to put an end to the havoc caused by unplanned, unsound growth. This will happen only when businesses realize that not only do they have a wider social responsibility, but that pollution prevention pays. Each week, The Green Show brings you the latest information on how the government, business houses, and citizens are dealing in their respective ways with the problems of environment and development. It is now generally agreed that our economic choices must be made in a manner that leads to sustainable development, not only for the good of people today, but also for future generations. These choices are complex and can only be made by well-informed decision makers and public opinion.
Today, The Green Show brings you a breezy story on wind power, followed by an innovation in solar cookers, and we wrap up the show with green and clean business complexes. Benzene compounds emitted by vehicles using unleaded petrol are known to cause cancer.
When you think of wind energy, the most usual image that comes to mind is that of a solitary windmill against a romantic rural backdrop. Our storybooks, picture postcards, paintings, and calendars are filled with this image. Till recently, the windmill was, more or less, where Don Quixote left it 200 years ago. Wind energy has been essentially the hobby of academic seminars and environmental freaks. But now, suddenly, there is a change in the air. A drive along the Indian coastline will convince you that a new industry is generating windfall profits from the sea breeze and that the old skepticism has gone with the wind.
Is there any relation between wind and electricity? Yes. Whenever there's wind outside, the electricity goes off for some strange reason. As far as the common man is concerned, the relationship between the two does not extend beyond that. However, the past few years have given a new meaning to the equation between wind and electricity, as industrialists saw an opportunity for reaping huge profits out of thin air. The Natural Energy Processing Company, or NEPC as it is popularly known, was the first to sniff money in the wind, and today their achievement in this field stands tall. Starting way back in 1986, NEPC, in collaboration with Micon of Denmark, sold wind energy equipment worth 150 crore rupees last year alone, notching up a clean profit of rupees 13 crores in 1994. The company at present is engaged in the manufacturing and commissioning of wind turbine generators with varied capacities such as 225 kilowatts, 250, 400 and 600 kilowatts. The import content for these turbines varies between 15% to 27%, while the rest have been indigenized. The company actually owes its success to the high cost and erratic supply of thermal power supplied by the state electricity boards. As a result, most of the industries have to make huge idle investments in captive power plants. While power from diesel generators costs anything from rupees 3 to rupees 350 per unit, wind electricity costs only rupees 1.25 per unit, and this too comes down to 50 paisa over the years. This is precisely the reason why all the major industrial houses have decided to go in for setting up their own wind electricity farms. There are about 600 wind turbines in the country at the moment, and this number is likely to go up to 2,000 by the year 1997. With each turbine costing rupees 80 lakh, business worth 1,600 crore rupees is expected within 2 years of operation. A 1 megawatt wind power project costs anything between rupees 3.5 crores to rupees 4.5 crores. Approximately 25 hectares of land is required for a 1 megawatt project, which generates 15 to 20 lakh units per megawatt. With the average lifespan of a wind turbine generator being 20 years, wind energy comes out to be a profitable proposition, as the excess power generated can be sold to the state electricity boards. The project breaks even after 5 years and is maintenance-free and requires no expenditure on raw materials, that is, wind. The government, on its part, is giving a lot of incentives for setting up wind energy farms. These include 100% depreciation on the machinery in the first year itself, a 50% exemption on sales tax for investments made in wind farms, land lease at concessional rates of Rs 3,000 per acre per year, exemption from load shedding up to 30% of the installed capacity of the wind farm, import of wind turbines under the open general license with a customs duty of only 20%. The Wind Resource Assessment Program has identified 69 potential sites in the coastal states of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Orissa with a potential of 2,500 megawatts wind power generation. Companies can set up wind farms at sites identified by the State Energy Development Agency and supply the power generated to the state grid at the site and recover the power from anywhere else in the state. In the past few years, as many as 16 companies have made forays into the area of making wind turbines, with NEPC Micon leading the pack. NEPC now has its eyes set on an ambitious 200 megawatt wind power project worth $250 million selling power to the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. The future is bright, as more and more power-intensive industries are gaining insight into the benefits of harnessing wind energy, as it is not only the most viable non-conventional source, but also one which in no way infringes on the sanctity of the environment. Studies reveal that some 75,000 trillion kilowatt hours of solar energy hits the Earth's surface every day, and just 1% of this is sufficient to meet the world's energy needs.
No one would question the possible benefits of solar power. After all, there is enough sunlight falling on our land surface to meet all our energy requirements from this source alone, and many times over. But even the most die-hard advocates of solar energy have yet to adopt it as a major factor in their own lives. All kinds of barriers have stood in the way. Accessibility, cost, reliability, and maintenance facilities are all out of reach of the average consumer. But we now face acute shortages of wood, coal, kerosene, and LPG, particularly for cooking. This will force even the most skeptical to look towards the sun for an answer. Here is a device for those with an appetite for innovation.
The word solar cooker invariably conjures up images of unaesthetical, bulky metal boxes which pop up from time to time in government-sponsored exhibitions and which most of us feel look best suited in neighbors' houses or lawns. Despite the economy it offers, it has failed to catch people's imagination when it comes to use. Thus begins the chicken and egg story. Has the concept not caught on because the product was not worthy, or was the marketing poor? Whichever came first. To sum up, there's a lack of enthusiasm amongst entrepreneurs to take up both the manufacturing and marketing of solar cookers.
It has its own various disadvantages of cooking. For example, like the quantity of preparation is very limited. It can only cook for about 2 to 3 people at a time. 2, the time taken for it to prepare the food is very longer. 3, the housewife has to stand in the sun to prepare the food. 4, only selected items like rice, dal, egg boiling can be done with that portable solar cooker. These are the fundamental disadvantages of the solar box type cooker. And worldwide, scientists have been addressing in developing a modern solar meal maker.
Convinced of harnessing the potential of the sun, entrepreneur Raghunathan's Solka Enterprises has sought to replace the solar box with an improvised product called Meal Maker. Meal Maker is based on technology supplied by Professor Schwarzer of Germany, who invented this product and holds 49% equity in Solka Enterprises. Financial assistance was also provided by the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, IREDA, and ICICI.
The life of this solar meal maker is about 20 years. Now, we have the technology from the German professor at free of cost given to us. And he has also invested in this company as a director in this company with an objective that we will be producing this solar meal maker for the world market from India. And the whole material for this meal maker is indigenously available and developed. There is no import of any raw material in this meal maker. And we have already exported to many African countries this product. For your information, Tamil Nadu has got this midday meal scheme. There is about 45,000 noon meal centers where the food is prepared every day afternoon for the children's use. And this meal maker can exactly meet the requirement of per noon meal center.
The versatility of the meal maker makes it a cook's delight. The meal maker can cook food for 8 to 25 people at a time, and unlike the solar box, it can even cook at night when there's no sun. This has been made possible by incorporating a heat storing facility in the cooker. While the conventional solar cooker was most effective to cook dal, eggs and rice, the meal maker promises a wide variety of preparations. Yet another distinct edge over the conventional solar cooker is that cooking can even be done indoors. But how does one catch the sun? The meal maker solves this problem by splitting the unit into two. While the heat collecting portion lies outdoors, the cooking section can be installed in the kitchen. However, the maximum distance between the two units is 2 meters. The heating section of 2 square meters is made of 8 copper pipes covered with copper foil placed on an aluminum sheet. The pipes are covered by glass. The copper pipes are filled with groundnut oil, which gets heated to a temperature of about 180 degrees Celsius by circulating through the pipes. This hot oil is circulated through 2 jacketed stainless steel vessels placed in the kitchen. Cooking is done directly in these vessels. An oil expansion vessel for maintaining atmospheric pressure in the system is also provided. For cooking at night, the heated oil is stored in a pebble storage container. In fact, this oil does not need to be replaced for 7 years. As the system works on the thermosiphon principle, it needs no pumps or control equipment. Like an LPG stove, the heat in the cooking vessel can be controlled with valves. The solar meal maker is as fast as an electric oven and can cook anything from boiled rice to idlis to puris to non-veg meals and fried stuff.
There is no expertise needed from the cook to operate this meal maker. Once we train them, they can automatically do themselves without any high tech to understand, like a computer operation. There is no professional training needed for operating this meal maker.
At present, it is being marketed in 3 models, 1 for individual households and 2 for community utilization. The price varies between Rs 19,500 to Rs 37,500. This might appear to be a costly proposition, but it is not so if one looks at the savings on fuel, which vary from Rs 6,500 to Rs 10,500 annually. Subsidy on solar cookers is available to a limited category of users, namely farmers, artisans, hillfolk, fishermen, and the handicapped. Perhaps this is why solar meal maker is yet to find a place in the middle-class households, as it is not easy for a salaried person to shell out Rs 20,000 for the family-sized model, especially in the absence of any attractive financial scheme or subsidy.
As we understand the market, if you take an orphanage home, if they use this meal maker, in a year, in a place like Madras, 330 days, we always have sunlight. And if they use the meal maker, they save continuously for a period of 20 years. So there are people for example, bigger organizations which donate money to orphanage homes for feeding them. We are trying to convince them, instead of giving them a fish to eat for that day, teach them how to fish. That is, donate this meal maker with which they can eat for 20 years without any cost involved in it. The cost of this meal maker is fairly high when we compare to the affordability of this philanthropic institutions or social service organization. We do hope that once we establish the technical superiority of this meal maker in the field, the government would automatically step in to give the subsidies or the incentives for the people to have such equipment.
The major buyers of meal maker are hotels and restaurants, cooperative societies and industrial canteens. Their continued patronage has seen Solkar Enterprises grow from a one-man company in 1987 into an organization with 60 employees and a 130 lakh rupee turnover in just 8 years. "9,167 hazardous and polluting industrial units in Delhi are facing closure following a Supreme Court directive. Of these, 8,508 are located in non-conforming areas of the city."
One outcome of the recent explosion of business activity in our country is the commercial complex, a form of architecture that is mushrooming all over our cities. Given the clients they serve, you might expect these complexes to be models of cleanliness, efficiency, and order. But not so. Most of them are a concrete jungle of stinking slums. If you have the misfortune to visit one, you will have to pick your way carefully through filth, slush, and sleeping bodies, all the while fighting off swarms of flies and mosquitoes. While corporations spend enormous sums to keep their offices sparkling clean, they remain totally oblivious to the surroundings outside. After all, whose problem is it anyway? Today, we bring you the story of a pioneering attempt to change this attitude.
Have you ever wondered why hiring or buying space in commercial business complexes is so costly? Forget about the price and try and look at these complexes with a critical eye. After all, it's your workplace if you can afford it, and it deserves the best. Pan your pupils even in the most popular business complexes, and what is likely to meet the eye are small mounds of garbage dumps scattered at every strategic nook and corner. Even before you actually see the garbage, its presence can be felt by the nasty smell, warning you to hurry out of the place. More often than not, it resembles a domestic farmhouse. You might come across all kinds of animals: pigs, dogs, cats, and of course, the omnipresent cows scanning the garbage dump for gastronomical delights. Now, why on earth should a business house pay fat sums and a huge pagdi to open an office in such a place? Given that one already has a shop or office in one of these complexes, or feels that the business value of places such as these overrules the environmental values, there is still a choice. Accept the place as it is and watch it turn into a part of a dismal dump yard, or just have the will and motivation to keep it clean and green. Located in posh southwest Delhi, the Basant Lok business complex used to be a dirty, disgusting place to visit like its other counterparts in Delhi. This, despite the fact that it houses some of the finest blue-chip companies of India. The picture is somewhat different today with the formation of the Basant Lok Jagrati Association.
It is the goal of this association to create this association as a model so that other associations can also replicate what we have done, because the model is very down to earth, and it's important that external excellence is given importance by organizations as they give importance to internal excellence.
Today, with a membership of 30 business houses, the BLJA aims to improve the immediate environment of the complex with participation from all offices in the vicinity, and to set up a model for other business complexes to replicate. BLJA's efforts are there for everyone to see. A clean, green complex with environment conservation messages spread all around. In fact, it has tried to define business complexes in a new way. A team of workers start early in the morning cleaning the place, which is repeated several times during the day. The tools, including brooms, garbage carts and bins, which have been provided by the association. This in turn is bought from the monthly contribution made by its members. In addition, members also donate dustbins, etc., which are placed at strategic points throughout the complex with the donor company's name displayed on it, killing two birds with a stone, that is, achieving a degree of cleanliness as well as getting publicity mileage out of it. In fact, the car and scooter parkings, which are a major pain in all the business complexes, are also being maintained by the association. And perhaps this is the only place where you don't have to pay a single paisa to park your vehicles.
See, the main achievements of forming Sant Lok Jagrati Association have been, firstly, to inculcate the awareness in the community, business community located here, to keep our business premises or our establishment areas clean. Secondly, to also increase awareness regarding the environmental issues, that is to keep the area green, to minimize the pollution. So such issues have also helped, the association has helped to make the people aware of such issues.
Well, BLJ has helped not only us, but the complete area. I mean, I think we are the pioneers here to show that, I mean, something can be done to make Delhi green. And it's, well, it helps our sort of a work because we have mostly tourists coming in. So at least we can show that we live in a green environment, a nice environment. And I mean, it's prestigious to be in such a place.
BLJA is ambitious. They are well aware that charity begins at home. The road to creating pioneering examples is not hurdle-free. But once the wave catches on, there is no looking back now. Join them, or you'll be left out.
Some of the recent Supreme Court verdicts have shaken the industry as well as the government out of their slumber and forced them to comply with environmental legislation. In many cases, industry has responded by taking the necessary action to avoid the baton of law. But it would be better if environmental protection were to become a preemptive action taken by industry and promoted by government because it is seen to be in the best interest of everyone. The change of attitude is now becoming urgent. It is our endeavor at the Green Show to sensitize industrial leaders and the public at large about ecological issues. Keep track of us and you will keep track of what is happening.